Hello, and welcome to the newest episode of the Drive Home Podcast. I'm your host, and I am tired. There's a legitimate reason this time. It is 9 at night, and it is raining outside. The rain doesn't really contribute as much, but thought I'd bring it up anyway. Because it hasn't rained all that much recently. It's not when I've been driving. And we're specifically recording this, so it's nice to... Because I think the first time I recorded this, it was raining. Memories, I guess. Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's drive this podcast home. Today is semi-long. It was 6.5 hours. I'm gonna play Monster Hunter with my friends once we get home. He got me into trying out this other game called Phantasy Star 2. Played a little bit of it, and it seems kind of interesting. So I'm gonna stick with it for a little bit. I mean, I haven't really, but we're mostly just gonna play Monster Hunter Wilds tonight. Anyway, that's besides the point, because this episode is Zombies Part 3. That's right. I'm not stopping. These are consecutive to me, and hopefully for you as well. Anyway, yesterday, I guess it was yesterday for me, but for you guys it's been a bit. So, I've been going over stuff, and I'm just going to keep going over stuff because it's just my version of how I describe things, I guess. But, I'm not going to go over stuff again because I kept doing that and it felt like I was just repeating the same things. So I'm not really going to go over stuff unless if it needs to be brought up. But so anyway, when you're on the go, the place that you should go to first is some place with a hospital and or like a shopping district. So I guess shopping district first, or place with weaponry perhaps. I mean, shopping district works. Yeah, like or if you just have like one solitary like Walmart or something, you can go there. But like that's where you can get a lot of stuff because they have like food and coolers and all sorts of stuff you might need in an apocalypse. To be fair, you might also meet other people there, specifically because they also thought that. So, there's a chance you might meet someone. I'm gonna say I didn't. At least no one alive. Ooh. But anyway, I want a couple extra metal bats, because at some point you use a metal bat too much, it gets dented and whatever. And this metal bat, very old. I used to play, I guess, Little League, I don't know, when I was in elementary school. So it's from back then. So it's actually really small for it's not really small. Because I played at the end of my elementary school years. So it's, it's not small, but it's not big. I think you get a bigger one. And if Walmart doesn't have, metal bats, which I feel like they used to at some point, then there's a sports place nearby Walmart. There's some, I don't remember, but there's other places up here that would have it. And you could also if there's like a Home Depot. Sorry. if there's a Home Depot or some other kind of construction-y based place you can go to, you might want to go there. You could get like a metal or a metal pipe. Piping can be very useful because it's metal, but if it's a pipe, then it's, you know, like, it's going to be durable, but it's also going to be like relatively light if it's like one that you can hold in your hand. And you can tie stuff on the ends. Oh yeah, duct tape. Duct tape, absolutely useful. Anyway, so after the shopping district with whatever supplies I would have, like, because I'm not going to be specific, because in an actual scenario, it would get really specific and it would change the course of what I do somewhat. But at the same time, I have a metal bat and it works as a metal bat because it's just hit people or zombies with it. You don't hit people. But no, yeah, like if there's a construction site near your house or something, or something's being built nearby, I don't know. Or if there's a sports like center, like a rec center or something, you might be able to find some stuff there. Like you could also use like a golf club. Though if you're gonna use a golf club, I'd recommend either sharpening the club end or tying something else to it that's sharp, just because, like, it feels like it would be better for cutting than it would actually be for just, like, you know, like, because, like, golf clubs aren't all that strong, unless if you get, like, the kind from, like, a golf resort, where they have all the different kinds. Because if you have, like a miniature golf club isn't really going to cut it. Like, I've held those before. They're all incredibly light. They're built for, like, old people and children to use, no matter the size. So it's kind of... It expects you to not exactly have you know... They're going to be really light, but they're also, like... They're probably break really easy, honestly. I mean, they can be made out of metal, and so they should be durable, but... Just thinking about it, I don't like the idea of it, I guess. So I don't recommend those. But if you can get, like, professional golf clubs or something, those would be better. And I would say keep a knife on you, one reason or another. Knives are always good. You need to cut something, like a rope. You need to, like, tell somebody to back off or something. I don't know. Some actual human. You know. Run-ins with people are always weird. So for this scenario, I'm just going to assume there's, like, nobody. Or only hearing people over radios and stuff. Because, you know, cars and whatever, they have radio stations. Maybe I can filter through to find somebody. That's another thing. You got to be able to communicate with people. So, if you can, go to, like, some kind of, not a cell tower, but, like, I guess a radio tower, like something with actual, that you can, like plug into. I mean, obviously you can call people, but... If I don't know how anyone would know this, but if you know where, like, if you happen to live close to where people call 911, I don't know how that works. I'm assuming somebody does, but if you need to call 911, because, like, lots of people are going to want to call 911 in this situation, so, you know, that's what they'll try. Right? So if you're there to answer the phone, then you can get in contact with other people in a friendly way, I guess. Right? Like, I wouldn't recommend lying to them, just like, you know, I knew where this place was. I figured if this is occurring in other places, somebody would get called in. And so I came in to see if I could, you know, find somebody, you know? You know, just like, I don't know where that is. I don't know if there's separate ones for each like area or what, but that's all I'm saying. Is that there's definitely merit in finding that place. I don't know if you can like call into a police station or how that works. I guess being able to call into one, or knowing where your local police station is might help. Because I actually don't know how that works. I don't know if you call someone and they patch you into the correct police station, or it calls your nearest police station. I don't really know how 911 works, or whatever the combination is for your country's emergencies, or police, or whatever. But other than that, I would say try and go towards a hospital or something, because if it is a disease or whatever, there's going to be, like, hospitals are a double-edged sword. You might find somebody who can help because they, practice medicine, they're a doctor, or somebody who at least is familiar with the stuff. And then there's also, you could also run into a lot of zombies, though. Lots of people at hospitals and stuff, and doctor's offices. Well, maybe not doctor's offices, but hospitals, yeah. So, double-edged sword, but as long as you stay at a distance and kind of like, scope things out, have an escape plan, don't let yourself get surrounded. I'm not even going to bring up the idea of explosives, because I have no idea where you can get actual explosives. And it depends on the time of year and a bunch of other factors, and I'm not even going to bother to think about that. And also what your country's, like, political whatever's is for having such things. I figure most countries are like, don't have explosives in your home. That would be dumb. But what do I know? So I'm not really going to get into explosives per se, but I mean, making Molotov cocktails isn't impossible. I mean, people on fake TV shows and stuff make it seem easy enough, I mean, because alcohol is flammable, and so you dip a rag in alcohol on both ends, I think. Or, no, I guess, well, you just dip one end of the rag in, and then the other end of the rag you light on fire. And then when you throw it and it lands, the bottle will explode and and all the alcohol will catch on fire. That's probably effective against zombies. Something like that. I don't know. I'm assuming that's how that works, because I know alcohol is flammable, but that's about all I know. That's how I imagine. But keeping warm. It's kind of complicated, but you're going to want to park very weirdly during your first couple nights. Because you're going to want to block off your doors as much as possible, and or big open spaces like your front window and maybe your back window. You don't know where the zombies are, when they'll come and get you. And so unless if you can, like, lock yourself in a room that's, like, fairly durable, I don't want to find out how tough zombies are just yet, What if they got that zombie brain turned off superhuman strength or whatever? I don't know if I want to find that out immediately. Don't need no zombie tearing off my arm. But yeah, no. I think hospitals are kind of worth it. Like, at minimum, you should definitely try and get 2 people in a group for the apocalypse. I think 3 is better, 4 is honestly like a way better. 4 is like a good minimum. 2 is like a beginner's minimum. Like, you don't want to be traveling around alone. You can sleep in shifts and stuff, especially if you trust the other person. But definitely gonna be a couple like sleepless nights, just because like I wouldn't know if the other person's just gonna like kill me or take my stuff and shoot me or whatever. I gotta stay awake but pretend I'm sleeping to figure it out, which isn't hard for me because I don't sleep very easily. Maybe drink an energy drink before I pretend to go to sleep. I don't know, something. But yeah, so you gotta be wary around people. But normally, if you can get a group of like 4 people who just met up with each other, that's a lot better, because then neither of you trust each other enough to like, because like there's no way one person's going to be able to take out 3 other people, because the moment one person tries to attack another person, the other 2 will turn on the original attacker, and then that's kind of that, right? And so like if you can, you know, like 3 people's another thing, because then 2 of them could team up on one of yous and whatever. But if you got 4 people, you'd have to convince at least like the other like 2 people. And I'd say most people aren't necessarily like bad people. I'm not gonna say everyone's like virtuous and good, but I don't think people are at their core, well, I don't think many people at their core are like bad people. At least not in my area. But, you know, there's always some people. We just hope the bad people get turned into zombies. Anyway, or, you know, just, I mean, presumably, like, the first, like, I guess the initial epidemic that turns 90% of people into zombies turns all the evil people into zombies. Or the people who, you know, aren't, you know. Anyway, that's all the time I have for today. But just a quick recap. Don't be super trusting of people. I have reiterated that in this episode, so it is something I said last episode, but, you know, don't be too trusting of people. Might want to stay asleep if you're sleeping in shifts. 4 people's a good amount, because, you know, you don't, like, I guess 2v2 is, like, I guess a pretty, not like the worst, but like 2v2 is like, I don't know, not expected or anything, but like it's a lot better than 1v2, right? And if you happen to have somebody you trust, you know, that's all the better, right? I don't know. And then, you know, I went over more melee weapons, I think. I don't. But yeah, no, hospitals in a bigger, in like, you know, a group of 2 or 4, 2, 3 to 4, you know, at least 2 or more people, right? I would prefer 3, because with 3 you can have 2 people going, 1 person sits back in the vehicle ready to jet or something. But, you know, it's all up to whoever. And of course, shopping district, whatever. Get the stuff that you need. Food, put it in coolers, or whatever. Portable coolies you can throw in the back of a pickup or something. Whatever. There's lots of stuff. Anyway, that's about it for this episode. Next time, the Zombies Part 4. Unless I forget. Which I shouldn't. But I might also just... I might not take a break, but I might do it like every other episode thing for the zombies. Because this could go on for a while. And I don't want to just do zombies. Because that's just a specific podcast in itself at that point. Honestly, that could be a podcast. It probably already exists, honestly. Anyway, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Drive Home Podcast. If you liked it, leave a like. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, you don't have to. Have a great next 24 hours, everybody. And as always, see ya.